happy to begin my report with an update on district events and some other important matters since our last board meeting 2 weeks ago. First is February 1st, the governor's proposed budget came out. So she presented her budget, which included a couple of very impactful numbers for Pleasantville, so I wanted to just talk about them a little bit. Overall, for New York State, there is over $3 billion in state aid, and it includes fully funding foundation aid. This translated into a $2 million increase for us here in Pleasantville, which will fully fund Pleasantville's foundation aid for 23-24 and included CPI, which is really important. In her proposed budget, there was a modest increase in pre-K funding for Pleasantville, but at present, the machinations for spending the money have not changed. So unfortunately, there will not likely be any change for us to be able to pursue pre-K and use that money. But I know we're going to be talking about advocacy in a little bit. So we'll come back to that point in a little bit. Also included in the proposed state budget is an allocation to help develop school-based clinics for child mental health support and full funding of expense-based aids. There is also a one-year extension on the waiver of $35,000 cap for retired staff under 65 years old to help address staffing shortages. This is a great win for us, and this is something that came up in some of the advocacy work that we're going to look at, because just in this spring coming, we have 2 retirees coming back for teachers on leaves, and we didn't have to worry about the cap, which is very nice.
That's huge.
Yeah, so the budget came out. It was pretty good news, the proposed budget. So we'll be talking more about our budget. We are in budget season, right, Donna?
Yes.
And John, of course. Well, we know John's in budget season all year long.
Perpetual.
All year round. Like, you know, Donnie starts getting into budget vote and everything else. He just smiles. Okay. In other news, the high school science Olympiad team qualified for the state championships. The state championship competition will take place in March in Syracuse, and it's the first time that the high school team has advanced this far. So congratulations to the team and the co-advisors, Ms. Besser and Ms. Pilata. We had a Pleasantville Strong steering committee meeting last week, and our team is working on budget requests for their next budget cycle, which is a couple of months off of ours. There has been a transition in the coalition leadership position from Laura Moore to Filomena Valente. She has been involved throughout the transition and has been with our buildings for different reasons, including supporting the advisors of the Sources of Strength Club. We also had a district technology committee meeting last Wednesday. The committee was joined by our trustee, Angela Vella, so thank you for attending. They continued planning their work around digital wellness and data privacy and security. With the recent popularity of an artificial intelligence technology platform called ChatGPT making its way through K-12 and higher ed, the committee also discussed the basics of this system and explored what it means for our schools and the larger community. We concluded the session by devising a strategy for supporting our curriculum coordinators as they explore bringing a digital wellness resource called UpSavvy to their buildings, as well as data privacy campaign around the implications of sharing email addresses with unknown sources. I also wanted to provide Dr. Chagares, our DEIA director, a few minutes to provide us with an update on the district's DEIA initiatives that are new for this school year. So we have a lot of ongoing things. I asked him to focus really on what's new for this school year. I know we're only halfway through the school year, but I thought it would be a nice touch point for us to hear what's going on with DEIA.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me, Dr. Sassat. So I would like to get started. We have four main areas that we're really excited to share that are new, that some we have completed aspects of for this school year, and others that they're ongoing with the work that we're doing this year. As you can see, these 4 aspects are human resources, technology access, curriculum and professional development, as well as community partnerships. Over the summer, the administrative team sat down and got together and began to revamp and more formalize our onboarding process for hiring new teachers. This was from how we recruit staff, how we recruit teachers, how we share our postings, where we share them, to everything in the process, to how we onboard them and get them prepared and ready to start in the classroom. This was a really big overhaul in how we looked at what we did, a lot of reflective practices, a lot of things that we continue to do are kept because they were part of best practices, and there were others that it allowed us to think ways that we can improve and make them more efficient. Some of the ones that we've continued to do and kept in there is our participation in the diversity job fairs, as well as posting positions in non-traditional resources and platforms online that has shown over the past couple years to really bring a diverse population of staff. And that really is our ultimate goal. We want to try to bring in as many qualified, diverse pool of candidates that we possibly can to see who we can bring in. This way, when we hire the one staff member, we hire the best staff member. Other aspects that we formalized were interview questions that are grounded in the culture responsive and sustaining framework, as well as other attributes that we felt were really important and grounded in our district philosophy and our district mission that we expect teachers to be successful here in this district. Those base interview questions allow any interview committee to go through and really have a deep understanding of what the entire administrative group as a unit looks for in highly qualified teachers. This next one I'm really excited for. Dr. Cameron Fascio and the tech department and I worked really tirelessly on this in the better part of the beginning of this year. Technology access is something that's really important. We have made leaps and bounds throughout the past 5-10 years in the type of technology that we have in district and the technology that goes home for our students. However, one aspect that came to light during COVID and during our DEI stakeholders committee is access to internet at home. And that is not an easy solution for a lot of districts to manage and take a hold. So we wanted to look and really educate ourselves on what our options are. We came across a program that T-Mobile offers called Project 10 Million, and we partnered with them and filled out the applications to become a part of that. And what this program, we got accepted, and what this program offers is we're actually getting 75 hotspots for homes that are in need of adequate internet. Those homes that are eligible are homes that have students who participate in the free and reduced lunch program. That wasn't our decision. That's part of their parameters. That's also connected to an education federal grant. And we are in the process of sending out a letter home to these families, letting them know that they qualify for free Wi-Fi. It's 100 gigabytes a year, which isn't an exorbitant amount of Wi-Fi. It's not something that a lot of streaming or something of that nature or TV it would work on. But as far as school access and managing your homework, it's a huge relief to those students who don't have it, and it's a great starting point to support our families. Now, for those families who have adequate Wi-Fi but still qualify, we did a little bit more education for ourselves, and we found that there's a program where they get $30 a monthly discount on their home or mobile internet services through the Federal Communications Commission's Affordable Connectivity Program. I wanted to make sure I said that correctly. And what they need certain paperwork from the district, and we have that. So when this letter that we send them home notifying them of their potential options, we are going to provide them already a letter with information sharing that they qualify for both programs if they want and need a hotspot for their house, they will contact us and we will provide them one. If they choose to already have internet and they prefer to have a discount or choose to go a different route outside of this hotspot and they would like more, they can get $30 off that service, which is a really nice program and benefit. So we give them everything that they need, and we give them directions and resources that they can then go take and make the best decision for their families. The next area is in curriculum and professional development. That's always an area that we try to really focus in our efforts on. Last year, we did our first bias-based awareness training for our entire district, and we hired new staff this year. So at the beginning of the school year, we put in a process where every school year at the beginning of the year, those new staff will go through training as they normally do, and one of those new trainings is this bias-based awareness training. This way they have the same foundational content knowledge and language when we discuss it in other aspects of our PD that their colleagues have already went through. Each school building is going through and really focusing their professional development time on their building level goals. But all 3 building level goals are different. Yet, all 3 building level goals have embedded aspects of the culturally responsive and sustaining framework into each of their professional development efforts. Some of these aspects are in the welcoming and affirming environment, providing rigorous instruction with inclusive curriculum and assessments. So as our teachers have participated in professional development through this year and for the future professional development, there's many aspects of this culturally responsive and sustaining framework that are tied into exactly what their goals are that we'll be able to see in the classroom. So this next one, I've spoken to a couple board members about throughout my time working here, and that's Walk in My Shoes. So the middle school used to have a Walk in My Shoes program many, many years ago. And with some staff that retired, from my understanding, the program didn't sustain. BRS resurrected their Walk in Their Shoes program, and I got a chance to see Mr. Bush there leading a great group of it. So as a middle school administration, along with our curriculum coordinators, we wanted to go down there, see what type of aspects that is making the BRS Walk in My Shoes program so successful, and bring that back to the middle school. So we're partnering with the middle school SEPTA, parents and community, as well as other members, and we're in the programming stages and the development stages, but our goal is to have that back in the middle school next year. This last one is a resource based on conversations with teachers, conversations with administrators. A lot of teachers have asked aspects of every year, every month, every day, there's a lot of different ways that you can celebrate diversity within your classroom. Different age-appropriate ways that you would do in kindergarten versus what you would do in high school. And the teachers, along with administration, asked for a resource and a guide that can help them get started if they might not know the best way to go about approaching that. So the curriculum coordinators, Marianne Flatley, and I sat down together and are in the process of developing this resource. We have a few different diversity calendars that we have access to that provide a slew of information of different holidays, different important dates, months that happen throughout the course of the year, as well as different age-appropriate strategies that teachers can infuse this and celebrate this into their curriculum. What one teacher may be able to connect to their curriculum might be different than another teacher, so we're trying to make this resource as diverse as possible based on the different needs of each teacher. This way they can be the most successful. So we're very excited about that. In community and partnerships, this year we opened up 7 through 12 and invited students to participate in the Day of Service on Martin Luther King Day. We partnered with the Interfaith Coalition to help provide students this opportunity to find local community service efforts if they had a hard time finding them just on their own. I know in the middle school that's very much a common question for our 8th graders who are moving up from the middle school and looking to get that community service award. So we wanted to partner with a local establishment that will allow us to help support them in those efforts. So we were very excited about that partnership this year. And then this last one is something that's going to happen this spring. It's going to be an international potluck, one that's open to all within the Pleasantville Schools community. And it's a very simple one. It's about bringing people together and enjoying time together. So families are going to be invited, and there'll be more information on this, but they'll be invited to come out, bring a favorite dish. I will have certain parameters of what they write on an index card, from food allergies to information about that dish. And those that come out will be able to participate in a potluck, learn more about different cultural cuisine and family favorites, and at most spend time with each other within the community, which makes our community very special. So those are some of the few initiatives.
Across all the schools?
Across all the schools, it'll be K-12.
Because the
yes.
BRS was doing that for a while. They
Yes.
had a around the world, I don't know what it was called, but they had that in the elementary school for a while.
Yeah, we want to bring this K-12.
All the way. Oh my
That's
gosh. I can't even imagine. That's one long big buffet table.
Exactly.
Thank you very
you.
much.
It's
Appreciate
amazing,
it.
and finding all of these extra sources to help supplement these things is amazing. And when you do the walk in my shoes, feel free. I'd love to volunteer,
That's
and
great.
also include me in the potluck, please.
Great.
It's great
you.
to bring the walk in your shoes back. They did that through all three, maybe not in the high school. I think it was in the two schools for a long time.
And we spoke about that a few years back, and that
Yeah.
was something that has always been on our mind in the middle school. And we wanted to make sure that we stepped up and did it the
Yeah.
right way. So that's why we wanted to go
That's
down and
great.
learn how BRS approached it, and
Yeah.
bring that age appropriately to the middle school.
I just wanted to say thank you. I'm really impressed. I think, equity work is really hard, and one of the most important things is that you really build it into the systems, build it into the work you're doing so it sustains itself, and I heard a lot of that in the things you were saying, so congratulations. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
A lot of
Dr.
great work.
Schwartz. Appreciate it. So one of the reasons that I asked Dr. Chigara to do the update is because last year, for the second part of the year, we had this very formal, very public committee where people were coming together. They were reflecting on our strategic plan. They were brainstorming ways to infuse DEIA. And I just wanted to make sure that the board and the community were aware that while we don't have this formal process going on of a DEIA committee meeting on a monthly or bi-monthly or quarterly basis, we certainly have the work, and as you said so eloquently, our goal is that it is infused in everything that we do. So it's not like a part of the plate, it is the plate. It is the form for which we do our work, whether it is in human resources or technology or curriculum and learning and professional learning, and or through community partnerships. So these are just the new things from this year. This is not the sustaining work that we're doing on a regular and ongoing basis. I think it's something to be proud of, and I think when we sort of isolate it out like this, it does showcase our continued commitment to the principles behind diversity, equity, inclusion, and access as a district and as a community. And I would just certainly say that the two good doctors at the middle school certainly could, in their future lives, be foodies. So you would not be surprised that we're doing a food event when one of them are involved. So I know we're all excited, and now that you said you might be doing it, you're definitely doing it. So we're excited about that, and thank you again for coming and for putting it all together. It's very much appreciated. So I'll continue my superintendent's remarks by talking about the fifth grade performance of Annie Jr. that was this past Friday and Saturday. Both shows were absolutely amazing. I think Dr. Mara and I were swapping videos on who could get the better video from Friday night or Saturday night. But they really did a great job for their first time on the middle school stage, for the amount of time that they had to prepare, and for the complexity and the nerves and the performance and all of that. They really did a tremendous job. Our 6th, 7th, and 8th graders are going to perform the high school musical, and tickets are on sale, as our student government member said, about the high school performance of Bye Bye Birdie that's happening mid-March. In the world of academics, the high school team met with the class of 2027. Those are our current 8th graders. They provided information about the high school and general information about the high school, specific information about the high school and about the courses for the 8th graders. 8th graders are coming to the high school this week to come for a tour and a visit. They came today?
No, Thursday.
Okay, I thought I missed that. Okay, Thursday, thank you. And that same night, on Thursday night, parents will have the opportunity to have a tour and also come for an evening presentation. So that transition process has started. I was in the hallway of the high school the other day, and I said, so you're halfway done with your senior year, like, how does it feel? And I thought it was Monday morning. The student looked at me like I had 3 heads and like couldn't believe that we were halfway through. And I'm like, guys, like, you just finished the second marking period. Like, we're at the halfway mark. Like, we're halfway there. And it didn't like register that you have half a year left in your senior year to go. So yeah, we're at the halfway mark. So we're starting this transition process for our 8th to 9th grade. As we had said, BRS had their 3rd grade Walk in My Shoes and 2nd grade Math Mania. So thank you to the BRS PTA and parent volunteers to support the students in these very fun events. I was present for some of the Math Mania. I think we were measuring from Pines to Courts, et cetera, and there was a lot of water everywhere, and the parent was just laughing about it and having a good old time with the children, so it was really a nice event. In athletics, we're having some exciting postseason athletic events. Adriana Palumbo finished 3rd in the first ever New York State girls wrestling tournament held at Onondaga Community College in Syracuse. Awesome. Just a tremendous pause there, like just the first ever New York State girls wrestling tournament. Just wanted to say that twice to make sure we heard it. Like, it's just amazing. And Zach Arnold qualified for the New York State Boys Swim and Dive Championships, and he's going to be representing Pleasantville as a member of the Section 1 team in Binghamton. Remember, our swim team is a joint team with a couple districts, so really proud of our Pleasantville students and how they represent us. The last thing on my report is the Reunification Safety Task Force. We've wrapped up our meetings, and there's really only a few very final touches that need to happen on the maps, and that will bring this project to completion. And I know sometimes, we talked about our mission and the pride and accomplishment. Like, we're just in a better position, more organized, more well thought out, that if we had to engage in a reunification, I really feel that we are ready to do so. So it's just a nice feeling to, feel very comfortable that we're well positioned to be able to respond in the event that we needed to reunify. So that is the work of the Reunification Safety Task Force came together. I feel like we heard a lot about partnerships so far in this meeting. I know sometimes we don't isolate out like the parts of the strategic plan. From the BRS students going to the police department with the candy, to the partnerships that we just, heard of here with the DEIA work, the partnerships that happen with reunification. We had from the EMTs to the police department to the fire department, all here working side by side with us, along with our family members and community members and our own staff. So it's just a really nice thing to see everybody kind of come together. Again, just to better position us in the event that we have to reunify. That is it for now.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That's
and
a lot.
Dr. Shigaris, thank you for your leadership.